Why do I feel most lonely when I'm getting the most love from others? Well, sometimes that's because are you allowing yourself to receive it? So sometimes when people love us so much, it can become in a way isolating because sort of two things are happening, or potentially there's two things that are happening, which is that the love you are receiving could be um, it may be that someone is living out a projection. Okay. Okay, this it makes me feel phony. Okay, so this is what you call a countertransference response. But let's say someone's loving you a lot and you have the sense that I'm not so sure that this is really all about me. Or you might have the sense that you're sort of moving throughout the relationship, but you're not maybe feeling as responsive to that. There's a couple things that could be going on, and it may be actually a combination of all these things. So the first thing is that, do you know that within yourself you are willing to receive love? Do you know that within yourself you are deserving of love, and that you are open and ready to take in the love that comes to you? So that's kind of the first thing. The second thing is, it may be that you are picking up on a projection of someone else's, that they are giving you a lot because they are looking to elicit a response from you. And this is sort of a mechanism that sometimes people use because they think that the more they give, the more they can get back. And so that kind of dynamic is really less about being able to see the person that you're in partnership with. And it's really more about trying to fill oneself up with this process, with this kind of infatuated process. And so um, sometimes, so for example, I'll give you an example. Um, let's say this has happened in my past. Like I've gone on a date with someone, or I've gone on a couple of dates with someone. And for me, I know that in my truth and in my body, that it takes me a while to warm up to somebody. And I need someone to be respectful of my boundaries and to be respectful that I'm not willing to have sexting conversations after the first date. And I'm not quite willing to share all my deepest, darkest secrets over text messaging between dates 2 and 3, right? You know, that those are layers of privacy and those are layers of intimacy that take time, that take personal contact, and that take, a modicum of investment, and me witnessing you throughout the course of time and different forms of interactions before I feel ready to trust you with that information. It doesn't make me avoidant. It doesn't mean that I'm not willing to share those things. It also doesn't mean I'm not willing to receive contact around those things. It just means that I have boundaries, and that, I need to develop a sense of trust before I'm willing to share some of those parts of myself. Now, there was a time in my life when I had a deep urgency for connection, that I didn't feel so confident in myself. And I felt like if I didn't share these things or connect in that way right away, then I was going to lose somebody's interest, or I was going to dissatisfy someone or displease someone, or someone else would feel rejected. And then I would feel bad for making them feel rejected. So then I would kind of feel coerced into oversharing before I was really comfortable. But really, even though they may have been trying to coerce me, it was my choice to go along with it, right? And to not hold my boundary in that case. So part of it is, I think, knowing that situation for yourself and for your circumstance, is thinking about, and this is part of why this process of getting to know yourself, this is how it then becomes manifest in the relationship. Because if you know certain things about yourself, and then someone's throwing all this love feelings at you, right? It doesn't mean that you're not lovable. It doesn't mean, if you're feeling, I think the word here was phony, it doesn't mean that you're not lovable. It also doesn't necessarily mean that you're not willing to receive love. It could be that this person's trying to elicit something from you prematurely and you're just not on the same page with them. Or it could also mean that there's a dynamic going on here within them and you've become a point of focus for it. On the other hand, if you haven't done that self-work, And there have been these processes through which you've gotten to know this person, and all this love is coming towards you because you've gone through these processes of getting to know one another, and taking your time to allow your boundaries to be known and sifted through, and you're still not able to allow the love feelings in, and that creates a sense of phoniness. Then it may be that there's some inner work that you have to work around, or to maybe process or integrate, that has to do with receptivity, that has to do with being able to let love in. Because there's another circumstance in which sometimes we don't allow love in because we don't feel worthy and or deserving of it. So there's a couple of different dynamics going on there, and that's sort of like an overview of how you might begin to approach it. But um, I would have you sort of tease out some of how you are responding to what I'm saying, to see where the truth of the matter may be.